is the digital superstructure, or more specifically in this case, let's say infrastructure, not the panacea that we were taught to believe? Is it actually something that's going to reduce your level of freedom? Because we were taught to believe that the digital world is going to create more freedom. It's going to engender, you know, like a bigger space for people to express themselves and all these things. What we were not told was, like, what kind of ideas were you going to be allowed to express? Okay. Because when it comes to self-expression, ultimately it's not about, do you have more platforms to repeat the same speech that is acceptable, that is deemed acceptable by the system. It's, what can you actually say? What are you allowed to say? It's not about, oh, are you allowed to sing on this platform? Are you allowed to dance, to do these little dances on TikTok and sing? And no, what kind of speech are you allowed to say? See, it doesn't matter if you have access to all those platforms if the actual speech is censored, okay? Or you have access to 15 different platforms, but on none of those platforms can you say certain things. The moment you say those things, they crack down, you get shadow banned. And that is the issue that I'm perceiving, that I'm starting to see in the digital world, is that the shadow banning, the censorship is even more effective. It's even more effective to censor someone online because you have access to all their data. You know where they're gonna post. You know what they're gonna say. You know which device that they're using to post. You can simply, what they call that a sandbox, digital sandbox, where all they have to do is shadow ban one device, and all the devices are shadow banned. All the channels. It doesn't matter if you start a new channel to talk about God or prayers or fitness, or no, it's like if you had one channel where you said certain things that were deemed unacceptable, all of a sudden you are shadow banned everywhere. You said one thing on one platform that crossed the line, you are shadow banned on all the platforms. Maybe not all the platforms, but all the channels on that same platform, like this one. And I kind of realized that there's sort of this algorithmic prison, and it works super well. And you're creating content, you're expressing yourself, trying to put yourself out there. You want to create some kind of line of income, and it's just not working. That line of income, that side hustle, that content-based revenue stream that you were trying to create, it doesn't work because maybe you said something, maybe you expressed some ideas about a particular topic that the platform didn't like, and as soon as you get sandboxed, it's over. It's like the possibilities are done. In the real world, if you applied for a job in a particular industry, you didn't get that job, you can always apply elsewhere. You can always get a job somewhere else. I'm starting to feel like on these massive platforms, if you get banned in one place, you get banned everywhere. And the reason for that is that these things are not fully controlled by humans, because there's so many people, it's so many channels, it's so many accounts, that you wouldn't have enough employees, like Google or YouTube wouldn't have enough employees to be able to manage and moderate all those accounts. Billions of accounts. Well, maybe hundreds. In the case of YouTube, let's just say millions of accounts. So you would need some kind of AI, some kind of algorithmic detection system to do it. And those detection systems are hypersensitive. If you say one word that they don't like, they start paying very close attention. And if you repeat those same words over and over again, that's when you start getting delisted, you start getting fewer views. Next thing you know, your business dies. Your prospects disappear. Right? It is a highly effective system. Now, you could say, well, those platforms could find a way to make the algorithms less sensitive. Maybe those platforms could allow for more free speech. Maybe if you say certain things, it should be allowed. Right? Maybe it shouldn't be too strict or too drastic. All those are things that you could say. All those would be fair talking points. But the platform doesn't want to take too many risks. They actually want to keep it PG-13, so to speak. They want to keep it friendly. They want to keep it advertiser friendly. That's where the money comes from. They want to suppress certain talking points that they find to be toxic or incorrect or outright inappropriate or just whatever, just terms that they don't like based on their perspective. And so they can't take that risk and say, okay, well, we're going to be less strict and just allow these people to say whatever they want in the name of freedom, in the name of free speech. They're not going to do that. I don't think they're going to do that. There's too much at stake. The amount of money that they generate. If you take YouTube, for example, $50 billion, $60 billion a year, that's just way too much money to allow. That's just way too much money to allow you to do that. It's just way too much. You know what I mean? It's just way too much cash. They cannot afford to just let this. I mean, that's why they became so successful. They prioritize certain content, certain talking points. It worked for them. They were able to grow. And so, who are you to tell these platforms that they shouldn't manage themselves the way they do when they make all that money? It obviously works. Some people in the fringes are gonna cry about it. I'm gonna cry about it because I want to discuss new ideas, unique ideas, not the type of ideas that are already widespread, that everybody else is talking about. I want to propose new ideas. And when you do that, though, the algorithm doesn't like that. It scares the algorithm. It's like, what is this guy talking about? What is he? You know, is he talking about something that is safe? But like you scare them. What the fuck are you talking about? Why are you saying these things? It's scary, bro. You know what I mean? And so all that to say that maybe the freedom that we thought we would have is quite, it's not there. The freedom that they told us that we would have is just, it's not there. Sorry. The freedom that you were promised, it's not gonna happen for you. It's just not. You're gonna have to figure out some other way. You're gonna have to go analog. You're gonna have to go analog because the digital world doesn't have the answer, unfortunately.